Okay, now we are going to look at on the mark. Okay, mark records. So mark is a machine readable cataloging. Okay, it is a format used for representation and communication of bibliography and related information in machine readable form. Meaning that how we are going to put that kind of information in the system. Okay, so we do have a mark standard of mark. Okay, machine readable cataloging. So mark means that one particular types of machine, example a computer, and can read and interpret the data in the cataloging records. Okay, so how marks work? Okay, mark communication is a communication format is used for transmitting data from one system to another. So information from the catalog card cannot be typed into a computer to produce automatic catalog. No, so we should have a standard so that we know that which place that it should be. Okay, so computer needs a means of interpreting the information found on the cataloging records. Mark contains a guide to its data, and also each bibliographic data will be presented with tag number. So mark relates to the tag number. So as an introduction, mark record format was designed in the late of 1960s as a standard format for representing bibliographic information, so that libraries could store, communicate and reformat bibliographic information in machine readable format. Okay, so which is from one system to another system, they can use this kind of mark record to make sure that that record can be displayed at the new system. Okay, was first implemented in the USA by the Library of Congress in 1968 as US Mark, and in Great Britain by the British National Bibliography in 1971 called UK Mark. So format was be hospitable to all kind of library materials and is flexible enough to be used in variety of application, not only in library and information agency, but also within the book industry and the information community at large. So the Unimark format was developed for international exchange of mark records. National organization creating mark record have used national standard within the country and reformat records to Unimark for international exchange. Recently, however, a number of major suppliers of mark record have agreed to use the US mark format. So, for example, we do have Unimark, US mark, and UK mark. Next, we look at on the Z39.5. It's a national standard that defines a protocol. Okay, a protocol that allows one computer to query another computer and transfer search result from one to another. It is an open standard that enable communication between systems that run on different hardware and use different software. So, as an introduction, Z39.5 is developed during 1980s and early 1990s as a part of the project by LC, OCLC, Arlene, and Western Library Network. Okay, this one you have been covered last semester, previous semester in IMD124, alright, about LC, OCLC, Arlene, and Western Library Network. So Z39.5 overcome a problem associated with multiple database searching to simplify search process by making it possible for searchers to use familiar user interface of the local system to search both local library catalog and any remote database system that supports the standard. Okay. Enough with Z39.5. Okay, and then metadata. Okay, so metadata simply known as a data about data, which is data that describe another data. So the Oxford English Dictionary describe metadata as metadata is a set of data that describe and give information about other data. So, as an introduction, within the context of library computer industry, the common domain, okay, the most common domain of metadata is the file system. So, file contain data which has some amount of associated metadata. So, the term metadata is used by IT professional in designing the database management system (DBMS). However, metadata used in e-commerce, record management or library field tend to have a less complex structure and different use of term. So, according to Switch 1997 said metadata refer to the machine use understandable information about web project. So, will understand what kind of information that we put in the system itself. So, we use that kind of metadata to transcribe that kind of things. Means that the electronic retrieval of text has led to the development of metadata. So metadata is structured data that is used to describe resources. So people searching for electronic information can find the information they are seeking more efficiently. So metadata used in the systemically describe, manage and catalog resources. Okay. So, metadata records consist of an element or set of elements, sometimes called fields or attributes, which describe different part of a resource. For example, a metadata record describing a book may contain author, title, and publisher elements. So, how they are going to uh, insert this kind of elements in the computer. So the success of digital information repositories in meeting such high expectation of effective organization of information depends largely on the quality and skill of metadata. With the web revolution in mid-90s, it gave birth to modern metadata field and standard and has been used in information standards such as ISBD, MARC Z39.5, Dublin Core and T-Header. So metadata consists of image. Okay, an image may include metadata that describe how large the picture is, the color depth, the image resolution when it was created. Meanwhile, for the text, the documents may contain information about how long the document is, who is the author, when the document was written, and short summary of the document. For the library environment, traditionally, okay, what librarian traditional put into catalog in this internet age is most commonly referred to descriptive information about the web resources. Right. Therefore, traditional library cataloging is a form of metadata. Mark 21 and the rule set used with it, such as AACR second edition, are metadata standard. Okay. And then it looks like what we call as a symbol or as a standard, okay, that we use to make it information available on the web. All right, in library environment, metadata is commonly used for any formal scheme of resource description applying to any type of object, digital or non-digital. For the advantages of metadata, redundancy and inconsistency can be identified more easily as a metadata is centralized, okay? Avoiding duplication. If data is available in the system, one does not have to recreate it, and avoiding information conflict issues by using metadata repositories and enforcing common standard. Okay, for the disadvantage, definitely in terms of cost, okay, at the first place you want to develop it, so it quite costly, all right, and unreliability of the material itself, subjectivity, lack of authentication, because we can just share of a record, but that is the main purpose why we do a standard, all right. And then lack interoperability with respect to syntax, semantics, vocabulary, language, and underlying models, and cannot provide comprehensive description, meaning that many search terms may return few or no result, even if some document in the collection do touch on the desired subject, right? So because when we insert it into the system, okay, then we search for that kind of information. It cannot directly go for the depth information or for the depth materials that you want, because might be it's not being described in that particular item. So that is the what we call as a disadvantage of metadata itself. Okay, so for the metadata in libraries, it's provide user with vital information to help them find a particular book and aids them in making a decision as to whether the material might fit their needs. Okay, for the digital libraries, variety of metadata are currently being used with acronym and application that can be very confusing. So some of the use is extensively in related field in libraries. Some are used in limited areas or isolated contexts. So for metadata standard include DC core used to describe digital object, MODS, we need metadata object description schema, also to translate digital object. TEI, text encoding initiative used for text transcription. EAD, encoded archival description used for finding aids. And MET, metadata encoding and transmission standard used for packaging and transmission. Display of hierarchical object and structural encoding of complex digital object of possibly multiple format. That's all. So if you have any question, you can just ask in our WhatsApp group. Thank you guys. All right, see you later. Bye.